WVII Bangor.
From the radio awards to the Rockbound Post and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Today on Good Morning Maine, firefighters from 23 departments are taking part in a special training event tackling realistic situations without the danger.
Plus, the Augusta Civic Center was packed with your gubernatorial candidates as they discussed the changes Maine farmers are facing.
And opening statements began in the trial of a Corinna man accused of endangering the welfare of a child.
Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Emma Smith.
I'm Joe Cortez. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Well, we arrived here in the dark and now we're live and the fog has rolled in. The visibility out there is extremely low for your morning commute. Yeah, the fog was really bad on my commute this morning. It's kind of nice though sometimes. Like if you have, we come in at a time where there's not a lot of traffic, of course, and it is kind of nice when you're driving along. It's a little spookiness coming in, right? Unless you're in a high hit area for deer. I mean, yes, so that's also. Yeah. Slow down. It's okay to be late to work. Don't like. Okay, are you going to hold on to that one? If it's your life versus being late to work, I say be late to work. You know what? That is great thinking on this Wednesday morning. Let's get Devin Biggs in here. We're going to be checking out Hurricane Ian coming in and seeing what Florida is expecting. And on top of it, we'll get our forecast for the week. Devin, good morning.
And thank you very much, Joe and Emma. Happy Wednesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Boosted Auto and Diesel. For all your automotive, heavy truck, and equipment needs, call Ronnie at 207-659-9458. Alrighty, starting things off this morning, patchy fog, in fact, widespread dense fog being noted this morning. No dense fog advisories in effect, so we're looking pretty good at this point, though. We'll keep these dense fog advisory, or at least the fog coverage going, I should say, at least until the sun comes up later on this morning. A wider look, though, showing things looking pretty decent out there. The clouds are further out towards sea along this cold front, which is also picking up some clouds courtesy of Hurricane Ian, so some of that mixing in a few spots from time to time, too. We'll zoom things out. There's a few showers that I'll try to seek in our neck of the woods later on today. But here's the big picture, though, and what everyone's got their eye on right now with Hurricane Ian tracking off towards the north and east very slowly. But some of the clouds riding along the system already, and we'll make sure to keep an eye on the system as it does develop. Well, otherwise, though, back here at home, a few showers not out of the question today. Most of it should stay dry with a mixture of clouds and sunshine overall, but still a few showers cannot be ruled out. As for the winds, they won't be too bad at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, switching out of the west to a little bit of the northwest from time to time, but maybe a few gusts on the way as we head towards the daytime tomorrow. So your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, showing a mixture of clouds and sunshine, maybe a few showers by the afternoon, temperatures in the mid-60s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Joe and Emma.
Thank you, Devin. Opening statements began yesterday in the trial of a Corinna man accused of endangering the welfare of a child after his infant daughter suffered a drug overdose. A.J. Douglas reports.
27-year-old Zachary Borg is accused of unlawful furnishing of drugs and endangering the welfare of a child, along with other charges, after his then 11-month-old infant suffered an overdose in June 2021. Penobscot County Assistant District Attorney Chelsea Lenz talked about the circumstances of the case during opening statements.
The evidence is going to show that Mr. Borg was using fentanyl with some other people in his home, and that some of this fentanyl was misplaced or lost in the house, and that just a few hours later the next morning, his infant daughter, Isabella, suffered a fentanyl overdose.
Lenz later called William Sheehan from the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office to the stand. Sheehan testified that police searched Borg's home following the reports of the infant overdose. Police reportedly found white powder residue in several spaces around the home, including the baby's pack and play and a pink teddy bear. The powder substance would later test positive for fentanyl.
You will find that the evidence supports beyond a reasonable doubt each element of these charges.
Defense attorney Harris Matson argues that the parents quickly responded to the infant's emergent medical needs. The defense attorney listed the 11-month-old's medical injuries, arguing the injuries were not life-threatening.
Isabel Borg's respiratory rate was 16 breaths per minute. Now, that rate is considered low, but not critical.
The defense emphasized that it cannot be determined how close the infant came to death, if at all, because the positive fentanyl test did not provide a quantitative measure. More witnesses are expected to take the stand Wednesday. In studio, A.J. Douglas, ABC 7, Fox 22.
Senator Angus King joined a bipartisan group in the Senate Rules and Administration Committee to advance comprehensive reforms to the Electoral Count Act of 1887. The legislation seeks to update procedures for the counting and certification of electoral votes for the presidency. The new bill would clarify the sitting vice president has no power to determine the results of the election. The legislation would also make it more difficult for lawmakers to object to a particular state's electoral votes. Under current law, just one member of the Senate and one member of the House need to object to trigger votes in both chambers on whether to overturn or discard a state's presidential election results.
Process that's merely intended to clarify a law, which virtually everyone that's discussed it over the past 25 years has agreed is archaic and confusing. It doesn't eliminate Congress's ability to look at any aspect of elections. It just says one or two people can't do it. It has to be a broader basis for objection.
The Senate Rules Committee voted 14-1 to approve the bill Tuesday night. The bill now heads to the Senate floor, where a vote is expected after the November election.
A Maine man who joined rioters at the U.S. Capitol has been convicted of 11 charges, including assaulting and resisting or impeding police officers. Prosecutors say Kyle Fitzsimmons of Lebanon charged to the front line on January 6, 2021, and assaulted several officers. According to court records, Fitzsimmons hurled an unstrung bow like a spear at a group of law enforcement officers. The object hit an officer in the helmet and bounced off. Records also indicate Fitzsimmons pulled a detective's gas mask away from his face while another rioter sprayed him with a chemical. He then released the mask, trapping the chemical in the detective's mask. Fitzsimmons also tried to pull a fallen officer into the mob. A widely shared photo captured Fitzsimmons with a bloody face after encounters on that day. The 39-year-old will be sentenced in February.
Authorities say a body found in the McCoy Bay in Brunswick has been identified as a missing Freeport teen. Brad Rogers has the latest on the investigation.
Late today, Freeport police and the state medical examiner confirmed what many here in Freeport had feared, that the body of the young man found is Theo Ferrara.
We have been informed by the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner that the body has been identified as Theo. The medical examiner's office still needs to determine the official cause of death. As you can imagine, this is not the outcome that myself and my colleagues gathered here together had wanted.
According to authorities, Theo's body was found in the water on the shores of McCoy Bay in the same area where they'd been searching for Theo the past several days.
This morning at 11:15 a.m., a pilot from the Maine Marine Patrol discovered the body of a young man in McCoy Bay, just off Bunganuk Point.
Families and Theo's classmates here in Freeport had all been hoping that Theo Ferrara would be found safe and be back in school soon. The harsh reality is classmates and the community must now find a way to deal with the loss.
So as you can imagine, we're all human. We all feel it. It's devastating for all of us.
Police still don't know why Theo left home that day or how he ended up in the water. Chief Goodman says their investigation into his disappearance and death is far from over.
The investigation will remain ongoing. We still have resources that are still at work and will be at work over the next several months until we tie up every available loose end with this investigation.
Families close to Theo say he was always a fun-loving kid and well-respected by his peers. They say he was a gifted artist, a talented soccer player, and they never imagined something like this would happen.
State officials and Maine lobstermen addressed officials from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration last night in a scoping webinar, held to take public comment after NOAA accelerated the timeline for cuts to the industry. The webinar was the only opportunity provided by NOAA for stakeholders to communicate directly with the agency during the development of new measures to protect right whales. NOAA accelerated the timeline for risk reduction, which spelled out major cuts to the industry over what was supposed to be a decade. Now the lobster fishing industry will need to achieve a 90% risk reduction under Phase 2, which is much earlier than expected. Officials and lobster fishermen strongly criticized the use of a single public meeting that conflicted with other important fishery-related meetings elsewhere.
This opportunity is insufficient, poorly timed, and fails to achieve the core purpose of scoping. This feels like a box-checking exercise and not a real attempt to solicit input on plan modifications.
Right now, we are looking at a 10% reduction of the fleet in Stonington alone. People are selling out their entire business because they are scared that if they don't do it right now, they'll have no value left in their fishing operation, their business. And what are they going to do? There's only so many greeters at Walmart.
If these things are implemented, as I've seen, we're going to be turned into seasonal communities. We're not going to be year-round communities, and I think it's a shame. And honestly, being a taxpayer, I'm ashamed of my government for pushing this on me.
There were about 430 people logged into the webinar, which streamed to 2 other in-person locations where dozens of fishermen had gathered.
Bruce Poliquin's campaign is accusing incumbent Representative Jared Golden of taking money from a group that recently red-listed Maine lobster. Poliquin's campaign says Seafood Watch's executive director donated directly to the committee to elect Jared Golden, and that Golden also benefited from donations the director made to the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. According to Federal Election Commission filing records, the donation was for roughly about $667, and it was made 2 years ago in late June of 2020, during the last election cycle. Poliquin's campaign accused Golden of, quote, showboating as a champion for the lobster industry. Representative Golden's campaign senior advisors sent out a comment, and you can read that full statement on our website at foxbangor.com.
The time is now 6:11. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, we have the latest local survey stats on voters who are responding to the opioid crisis.
But let's get a quick look at that forecast. High of 65 degrees, partially sunny. Not too much chance of rain anymore today. You'll see a little bit of cloud coverage. Tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 48 degrees. And tomorrow, we're back with the sunshine and a high of 64.
If only there was a place in the morning to start my day. With a smile, somewhere to help me get in the know. Oh, wait, there is.
Good morning, America.
GMA 7A. Now that's how you start your day.
Ladies, a main adventure.
We've told you about Carhartt before, but Adam's going to tell you again.
Our fall shipment of Carhartt is in, and the best selection, the best prices for the entire family.
Get to Rennie's.
Thank you for shopping locally.
Established in 1925, Bangor Floral has been a premier provider of beautiful floral arrangements and thoughtful gifts for almost 100 years. Whatever the occasion, our premium collection of colorful blooms, blossoming plants, and gift baskets have warmed hearts for generations. We strongly support the Buy Local movement, purchasing directly from local farms and growers, and we are committed to the preservation of our environment. Bangor Floral, located at 332 Harlow Street. Stop in today to experience a flower shop like no other.
We know your life is busy. You have a lot to do. And like you, the news doesn't stop. So when you are ready for us, we'll be ready for you. WVII.com.
It's an exciting week on Wheel.
It's really big.
It's really, really big. Because we're celebrating some of America's greatest teachers. And with so many subjects.
Economics. Vocabulary. Science.
Get ready for some serious schooling.
Weekdays at 7 on ABC 7.
As Election Day draws closer, Maine's gubernatorial candidates took the stage at the Augusta Civic Center to speak about the agriculture industry with Maine farmers. Matthew Duronsic has more.
Sam Hunkler, Governor Janet Mills, and former Governor Paul LePage took the podium in Augusta Civic Center Tuesday morning to talk about the challenges Maine farmers are facing and offer potential solutions. Each candidate was given an hour where they gave opening and closing remarks and answered questions from the moderator and Maine farmers about the plans for the industry.
I think we're leading the nation in addressing PFAS contamination. I've dedicated more than $100 million to test and mitigate PFAS-related impacts. And in particular, this past legislative session, we established a $60 million fund and an advisory committee to support farmers who were impacted by PFAS.
While Governor Mills focused on how she's working to support the industry, former Governor LePage put his focus on educating the younger generations about agriculture and criticizing the Mills administration.
We need to identify those students that really have a sense for wanting to work with their hands. We've done two things. I would have taken $150 million and told the farmers, grow more food. It's taken $250 million, gone to every oil dealer in Maine and said, you charge them the same price as last year, and you send the balance of the bill to the state.
Maine farmers had the chance to speak out about their needs, even at times showing frustration.
We need margin. We need to keep our young people here.
Independent candidate Sam Hunkler says there needs to be a change in leadership, one that works with the farmers.
I am so disheartened by the way things are that I want a difference, and most people do want a difference. They don't know what that looks like. I decided I was either going to jump in or drop out, but I want change.
Despite tensions running high at times, Agricultural Council of Maine President Julianne Smith says the candidates provide good insight.
Each answer that all the candidates provided really gave a clear indication of how much they know about agriculture and what they will do during their administration to invest in what Maine farms need.
Matthew Juronsik, ABC7 and Fox 22.
As Maine continues to deal with a worsening overdose epidemic, a first-of-its-kind report shows broad dissatisfaction with existing drug policy approaches. Yesterday morning, the University of Maine released the results of a nonpartisan survey administered to 417 registered voters across the state. The research shows Mainers strongly support laws that shift away from criminal penalties for personal drug use. A majority of Maine voters also support measures that would expand access to medically monitored withdrawal, as well as investing in easy-to-access flexible treatment programs.
You know, the more that we can convey that to policymakers, the better, because a lot of times, unfortunately, they'll operate in a vacuum, and based on, you know, whoever's talking to them at the moment, like that's what they think their community is demanding of them, and it's not necessarily the case. So
the data suggests it would be feasible for advocates to win a statewide referendum aimed at fundamentally restructuring Maine's drug laws. The research was done during the summer of 2021. Time is now 6:17. After the break, we have an in-studio interview about the upcoming Maine Garlic Festival.
We'll be right back.
Feel the difference of alpaca apparel from the Blue Alpaca Ranch and Store in Belfast. Stop by their ranch location to interact with these amazing animals and enjoy the beautiful Maine outdoors with your very own alpaca walk. Shop in-store or online today and take advantage of their free nationwide shipping. With their incredible selection of socks, sweaters, hats, and more, experience the unique qualities that alpaca fiber brings with the Blue Alpaca. Feel the difference.
If you were hurt because of exposure to the toxic water at Camp Lejeune, Congress has made it possible for you to recover a settlement. Former Marine attorney James Beardsley wants to help you.
Call now to see if you qualify. Call 222-2222.
For the first time, Shark Tank goes live Friday, September 23rd on ABC.
Sponsored locally by Comfort Shoes and More. 19 Moosehead Trail, Newport. More than 40 years of helping people out of foot pain.
Hey, it's Eric from Green Bear 420. We've been in business since 2010 and going strong, so stop in and check us out. We specialize in glass art by over 100 local artists and even have live glass blowing. Plus, we carry incense, novelties, t-shirts, and hard-to-find items. We have tons of local products for the tie-dye wearing person in your circle of friends. Come see us at 531 Moosehead Trail in Newport. And remember, Green Bear 420, it's not just a store, it's a lifestyle.
And welcome back into Good Morning Maine.
We are here with Daryl White. He is the director of Lake George Regional Park on the edge of Skowhegan and Canaan, correct?
That's correct.
And he's here to talk about Maine's Garlic Festival, right?
We love our garlic.
Yeah.
It goes along with everything.
Yeah, yeah. Can you detail what the festival is going to be about for us?
Well, sure. We have, of course, lots of garlic and a number of local farmers with local produce, several craft artisans, and there'll be local art.
Yep.
We have fun and games for the kids, like a straw bale maze, and do a little obstacle course. The National Guard has come in the past,
Cool.
do their obstacle course. We do apple bobbing, pumpkin painting,
that type of thing.
It's like the perfect fall fair. Yeah, very seasonal, exactly.
Yeah, it's great. It's on what we call the island. It's attached to the land by a land bridge, but it's a beautiful setting, long view of the lake, fall foliage. And then we've got about 15 and a half hours of live music scheduled. So really exciting. Saturday we'll be kind of rocking and rolling. We start off a little mellow, but then we got a blues band, and then a local favorite, and then another that does country music and some classic rock and roll. And then on Sunday we go to more traditional, some fiddle music, some folk music. So
you're covering all the stops here. I mean, and it says also there's a festival food, musical entertainment, hay maze, right? You said caramel apple dipping.
Yoga in there too. That
yoga.
Sounds great.
Yep. Arts and crafts sales and a cash bar as well, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, we work with Bigelow Brewing. It's a local craft brewer right in Skowhegan. They're terrific supporters of the park, and
so this must be really vital to the local economy, right?
Oh yes, big time. Yeah, it's vital for the economy, and it's vital for the park. The park survives based on user fees alone, and then we have to fundraise to make up some small shortfalls that we have every year.
That sounds like a really fun fundraiser. Yeah, and this is admission is $5. $5 am I correct?
For the adults, and then 12 and under, the kids they're free of charge.
Awesome. So, and it's this weekend.
It's Saturday and Sunday. Both days we start at 9:30. Saturday we go a little longer till about 6, and then Sunday we wrap it up around 3 o'clock.
Gotcha.
And when we were talking right before we came in here, you were giving us the background of the origin. You said it was your 4th year. You missed one because of COVID, of course.
That's correct.
But you were explaining how a small farm kind of started this and then it expanded.
Yeah, they're our lead sponsors, Crazy for Garlic. So Erica and Jason, they've been supporters of the park for years, and we got together back in 2018. They'd had the festival for years at their farm, and then just outgrew the space, and so the collaboration was kind of a win-win for both parties. We needed a signature fundraiser, and they needed a little more space, and we got together, and it's worked out really well. So
you cover all the stops for a festival, and I'd say that is a win-win. That's really exciting. Yeah. And can you just can you explain to me, though, how is garlic worked into it, though? Is it just because garlic is kind of seasonally harvested right now, or is there garlicky foods for sale? Is that why it's called the Garlic Festival?
Well, all of that. So, Crazy for Garlic being the lead sponsor and our partner, if you will, in the event. They have a large tent and a large presence at the festival. They grow garlic and year-round and harvest in the fall or late summer, and have all types of garlic and all types of garlic expertise, if you will. So
awesome. Our coworker Leo just had a bunch of extra garlic yesterday that he brought in and gave to me. So I forgot to put it as a centerpiece, but that's perfect. It's like a harvest festival.
Absolutely, yeah. Cool. And then there'll be a number of vendors that others who specialize in garlic products, and then others just in the local produce.
Cool. Yeah, something for everybody.
Festival. Yeah, make sure to bring the gum, though. We all know if you have a little too much garlic, you may need the gum.
Yeah, I always talked about having a mint tent.
There you go. There you go. Thank you for coming on the show, Daryl.
Absolutely.
It was a pleasure. We'll throw things over for one final look at our forecast.
Thank you very much, Joe and Emma. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Boosted Auto and Diesel. For all your automotive, heavy truck, and equipment needs, call Ronnie at 207-659-9458. Alrighty, starting things off this morning, dense fog is the name of the game. Many areas at less than a mile of visibility, so making that commute to work or school this morning, give it some extra time, as the fog may be hard to see out there from time to time. Low beams or fog lights will be needed, though. Do not use your high beams. That'll make it hard to see for you and other drivers ahead of you. Otherwise, though, here we are. So things are looking pretty clear out there overall on the radar and satellite. Maybe a few passing clouds this morning, but the sun will have to burn off any fog that has developed. though, but a few rain showers cannot be ruled out courtesy of this cold front right about in here. That'll move from the west to the east as we head towards the latter parts of the daytime today. But obviously the big focus, though, along this cold front will be Hurricane Ian that's tracking into parts of Florida as we speak. And this thing's starting to pack a punch really good as the Category 3 hurricane for now. It's expected to reach up to a Category 4. And, of course, some development. This is minute-by-minute satellite imagery. And, of course, whenever you see the pink showing up on this infrared satellite imagery, that's not a good sign. That means this thing is starting to get its act together. It actually just went through an eye wall replacement cycle recently. As it's tracking from the south, going toward the north right now, still maintaining Category 3 strength right now, but the last few frames have me a little concerned. This thing's gotten bigger and definitely more intense, so we'll have to watch this very closely. 120-mile-per-hour hurricane moving towards the north-northeast at about 10 miles per hour. Projected path has it moving into parts of Florida. Here's all the advisories right here. Tropical storm warnings in the orange and the red hurricane warnings. We'll move on land, possibly moving back over water again is now a possible scenario in a few spots before it moves back on land again. So this thing will be causing some issues across a good part of the U.S. and especially Florida for the next few days. Back here at home, no wave heights are even high near us, right around 3 to 7 feet, according to some of the buoys, courtesy of that cold front is currently parked offshore overall. But our average high is now at 66 degrees. We'll be in the 60s for the next few days, even upper 60s for you Saturday, back in the upper 50s as we head towards Sunday into Monday, lower 60s making a return as we head towards your Tuesday. Moving forward, though, futurecast, a few showers cannot be ruled out today, otherwise a partly cloudy sky with a mixture of clouds and sunshine. We'll see some clearing overall later on tonight, but more clouds will be on the way as we head towards the daytime tomorrow. But a nice dry spell looks to set up shop after today. So for today, middle 60s, partly cloudy with a few showers out there. That west wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Later on tonight, upper 40s, mostly clear. That northwest wind getting up to about 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow, middle 60s, partly cloudy. Northwest wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour in a few areas. Alrighty, here's a look at your extended forecast brought to you by Boosted Auto and Diesel. Middle 60s Thursday and Friday with a mixture of clouds and sun. Mostly cloudy on Saturday, highs in the upper 60s and upper 50s. We cool down on Sunday with a partly cloudy sky.
At Home Kitchen, Bath, and Flooring in Dover Foxcroft are proud members of the Flooring Network here in Maine. We have our flooring installers on staff ready for you and your custom flooring project. With over 50 years of combined experience, we'll work with you from start to finish, including demo and cleanup. Backed by the Flooring Network's state-of-the-art warehouses, we have a massive inventory to provide you with the best value and fit any flooring budget you may have. So stop in, meet our flooring experts, and see what we can do to make you feel at home.
Does your dream kitchen look like this? Or this? Or maybe you need a little more inspiration. Get it when you explore the complete in-store showroom displays at Hammond Lumber Company. When you find the look you like, the Hammond team will help you customize it, including accurate 3D renderings, so you can visualize your project before the work begins. Hammond offers delivery from any of the locations across Maine and New Hampshire and professional service after the sale. Your dream kitchen begins when you bring your vision to Hammond Lumber Company.
In Maine, it's always buying season. And at Thornton Brothers in Lincoln, we carry new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Rams for your buying season. Here at Thornton Brothers, we'll help you find the right vehicle specifically for you to suit your lifestyle. As they say, the proof is in the performance. So come on over and test drive a real vehicle from a real dealership, or place your order with us and see why it really is buying season here in Maine. Thornton Brothers, Main Street, Lincoln.
Need to unwind from a long day of work? Come experience life at Mad Cat & Company Bar and Grill in the North Brewer Shopping Plaza, where we serve delicious food, ice-cold beer, and unique cocktails. We have a fully stocked bar, American pub-style food, exemplary service, a fun atmosphere, and plenty of weekly entertainment. We now offer Sunday morning brunch, and stick around with the kiddos for Sunday afternoon kids karaoke and dance party. Our newly remodeled banquet room offers plenty of space for your next get-together. It's never a dull moment at Mad Cat's because we are the party.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
And now for your national news. A recent audit has discovered that the Internal Revenue Service made some child tax credit payment errors. The audit was released yesterday by the Treasury Inspector General for Tax Administration. It found that the IRS sent more than $1 billion in child tax credits to millions of taxpayers who shouldn't have received them last year. An audit also found the agency failed to send more than $3 billion in monthly child tax credits to households that did qualify. Congress expanded the child tax credit as part of the American Rescue Plan Act that passed in March of 2021. Despite the errors, though, the IRS was still 98% accurate in tax credit payments.
Hurricane Ian hitting Cuba Tuesday as a Category 3 hurricane. The U.S. National Hurricane Center has reported top winds of 125 miles per hour, devastating some of the country's most essential tobacco farms. The entire electric grid has collapsed, and authorities have been working overnight to restore power to the country's 11 million people. It is uncertain how Cuba will recover from the hurricane, as the country already faces an economic crisis and regular power outages. As of Tuesday night, no fatalities have been reported in Cuba. Hurricane Ian is expected to get stronger over the Gulf of Mexico, where it approaches southwestern Florida, where 2.5 million people have been ordered to evacuate.
Still to come here on the second half of our show, fire crews from all corners of the state joined forces in an intense battle yesterday. We'll hear from the crews next.
Plus, Crane Brothers Farm in Exeter is a fourth-generation farming family that specializes in potatoes. Wait until you see this establishment. It's impressive. This and more local news as Good Morning Maine continues.
Hi folks, this is Barry Gass of Gass Horse Supply and Western Wear in Orono. We've been in business since 1911, and our third-generation family-owned business can't wait to show you our unique line of Western wear and Western tack. We have Western boots, shirts, hats, belts, and buckles for the entire family, and Western tack from bridles to saddles and everything in between for your horse.
Gass Horse Supply and Western Wear, where the American West comes alive in Maine.
Need to unwind from a long day of work? Come experience life at Mad Cat & Company Bar and Grill in the North Brewer Shopping Plaza, where we serve delicious food, ice-cold beer, and unique cocktails. We have a fully stocked bar, American pub-style food, exemplary service, a fun atmosphere, and plenty of weekly entertainment. We now offer Sunday morning brunch, and stick around with the kiddos for Sunday afternoon kids karaoke and dance party. Our newly remodeled banquet room offers plenty of space for your next get-together. It's never a dull moment at Mad Cat's because we are the party.
Join us every Friday this season as we celebrate the return to the gridiron with the most highlights, reaction, and analysis of your favorite teams. Catch Sports Blitz Friday at 11 on ABC7. Sports Blitz brought to you by Coastal Auto Parts, your local Napa Auto Parts dealer with 29 locations, owned and operated by a Maine family that cares. And by Dorsey Furniture, Route 1A Holden, where you'll find furniture that's in stock and ready for delivery.
Looking to improve or upgrade your home or place of business? With at-home furniture, appliance, and bedding, and kitchen and bath and flooring, we offer a great selection to do just that. From homeowners to commercial businesses and everything in between, our friendly professionals with more than 50 years of combined experience pride themselves in going above and beyond to work with you every step of the way. And we even offer a full-service appliance repair department. Come and visit us at our Dover Foxcroft or our new Lincoln location. Stop in either location today and see what we can do to make you feel at home.
You're watching ABC7 Bangor.
Happy Wednesday. It's September 28th of 2022. Here's some interesting history you probably never heard. 172 years ago today, the U.S. Navy abolished flogging as a punishment. And for anyone who doesn't know what that is, I just found out what it was today, and good thing. I thought it was only 72 years ago, and I was like, wow.
You missed the crucial part.
I missed the crucial part of that because I was like, wow, we've come a long way in 100 years. Like a long way.
Yeah, that'd be concerning. For birthdays, it's the ladies. Actress Bridget Bardot is 88, comedian Janine Garofalo is 58, and actress Hilary Duff is 35. And today is National Drink Beer Day. I wish that was on a Friday or a Saturday instead.
It is tough Wednesday.
It's still just a Wednesday. Yes, it should be like the first Friday or Saturday of every month or whatever. The last.
Yeah, I feel like
not every month of October or whatever. And it's National Good Neighbor Day. So if your neighbor likes beer, maybe bring them a beer.
Yeah, neighbors are always good.
Yes.
Neighbors are always good in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely. There's always room.
You just got to find it.
Right. Hey, be the good neighbor then. If you got to be the good neighbor then.
Yeah, show up with, I don't know, show up with beer or seltzer for people who don't drink or anything. Show up with something.
Cookies, some pumpkin chocolate chip cookies.
Oh,
wow. 'Tis the season.
Where do you get those?
The pantry.
From
the flour and the pumpkin and the chocolate chips.
You mean make them. Oh,
yes.
Okay, now we're going all out here.
Yeah.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Let's turn it over to Devin Biggs. Here's another check of our forecast.
Good morning, Devin.
And thank you very much, Joe and Emma. Happy Wednesday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Boosted Auto and Diesel. For all your automotive, heavy truck, and equipment needs, call Ronnie at 207-659-9458. Alrighty, starting things off this morning, patchy fog, in fact, widespread dense fog being noted this morning. No dense fog advisories in effect, so we're looking pretty good at this point, though. We'll keep these dense fog advisory, or at least the fog coverage going, I should say, at least until the sun comes up later on this morning. A wider look, though, showing things looking pretty decent out there. The clouds are further out towards sea along this cold front, which is also picking up some clouds courtesy of Hurricane Ian, so some of that mixing in a few spots from time to time, too. We'll zoom things out. There's a few showers I'll try to seek into our neck of the woods later on today. But here's the big picture, though, and what everyone's got their eye on right now with Hurricane Ian tracking off towards the north and east very slowly. But some of the clouds riding along the system already, and we'll make sure to keep an eye on the system as it does develop. Well, otherwise, though, back here at home, a few showers not out of the question today. Most of us should stay dry with a mixture of clouds and sunshine overall, but still a few showers cannot be ruled out. As for the winds, they won't be too bad at about 5 to 10 miles per hour, switching out of the west to a little bit of the northwest from time to time, but maybe a few gusts on the way as we head towards the daytime tomorrow. So your hourly forecast for the rest of the morning and afternoon period, showing a mixture of clouds and sunshine, maybe a few showers by the afternoon, temperatures in the mid-60s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Joe and Emma.
Thank you, Devin.
Firefighters joined forces in an intense battle yesterday.
As Craig Colson reports, the important training they are receiving in Bangor will benefit their neighbors back home.
On your mark, get set, go.
Fire crews from all corners of the state are being put through their paces.
Keep that hose as low as you can, and this is your leverage point.
Learning everything from how to properly handle a fire hose to rescuing a person who was trapped in a burning building.
Okay, keep going. You're almost there. Ready, left.
26 firefighters from 23 departments are taking part in the training course offered by the Penobscot County Fire Chiefs Association and Eastern Maine Community College. Held at Bangor Fire Department's training facility, it allows them to tackle realistic situations without the danger.
These folks are certainly, again, they're working very hard. They're learning new things. They're showing up every single day, ready to work.
What are you thinking about when you're doing this?
How much I love my job.
You do? Tell me about that. What do you like about it?
I like being able to help people and make a difference, and this job gives me every opportunity I can to take it.
We've heard a lot in recent years about how volunteer fire departments have struggled to find enough people to fill the ranks. One thing this special academy will do is make sure they have the skills they need when they do hit the streets.
Absolutely. The shortage of firefighters and police and dispatchers and public safety in general is critical. This is a solid way to get a start on it for sure.
These fire crews will graduate from the 13-day course on Friday, returning to their communities ready to serve.
It doesn't matter, men, women, whoever you are, we need more people. There's definitely a people shortage, so it doesn't matter. We need them all.
In Bangor, this is Craig Colson reporting for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
And it will be a very long recovery for many Canadian residents in the wake of Hurricane Fiona. They're receiving help from Maine utility crews who are assisting with the massive cleanup. Many homes are destroyed and thousands have been left without power.
Jason Ensley from Central Maine Power is among those working in Nova Scotia to restore power. He says they have received a warm welcome.
Well, the people are bending over backwards to help us, stopping us anywhere they go, walking over out of their way to thank us, asking us if they can do anything for us. And say, no, of course, no, we're here for you.
Jason says the main crews expect to be in Nova Scotia for the next 2 weeks to help repair poles and lines to get the lights back on. Not only are Maine farmers working harder than ever, they're also working smarter.
Crane Brothers Farm in Exeter is a fourth-generation family farm that specializes in potatoes.
And as Jody Hershey tells us, technology is helping this local farm efficiently supply one of the country's biggest chip makers.
If you thought farming was small potatoes, you haven't met the Crane Brothers. Potatoes are big business for this family. This small farm in Exeter has been the livelihood of the Crane family for 4 generations.
My great-grandparents, George and Mildred Crane, had a small, diversified farm in Exeter in the 40s and 50s, but it was really their 2 sons, Vern and Neil Crane, who kind of formalized the business in the early 60s and began to focus on processing potatoes, and got their first Frito-Lay contract in 1961.
All these years later, Crane Brothers Farm is still supplying the chip manufacturer with spuds they grow in 6 counties in Maine.
Frito-Lay would be our largest customer, and then we do some work with some smaller regional chip brands in New England and the Northeast.
Crane Brothers Farm is one of just 7,600 farms in the state that has had a hand in creating over thousands of jobs for workers and contributed more than $400 million into Maine's economy. Ryan Crane says technology has helped his family's farm continue to thrive.
We have a lot of remote monitoring and controls for irrigation. The ventilation system in this building that we're standing in can be monitored and controlled remotely. Really makes us more efficient and effective in our management.
Modern touches that Crane says will only help Crane Brothers Farm roll into the future. In Exeter, I'm Jody Hersey for ABC 7 and Fox 22.
Still to come here this morning, a new era is about to tip off for UMaine men's basketball. Tyler Cruz joins us next for sports.
We'll be right back.
Feel the difference of alpaca apparel from the Blue Alpaca Ranch and Store in Belfast. Stop by their ranch location to interact with these amazing animals and enjoy the beautiful Maine outdoors with your very own alpaca walk. Shop in-store or online today and take advantage of their free nationwide shipping. With their incredible selection of socks, sweaters, hats, and more, experience the unique qualities that alpaca fiber brings with the Blue Alpaca. Feel the difference.
Offensive and divisive. That's Paul LePage's legacy. But it's not just what he said as governor. It's what he did. LePage slashed funding for cancer screenings for women. He refused to invest in clean energy, kicked over 1,000 seniors off their prescription drug program, and even opposed funding to Meals on Wheels. So, if that's what Paul LePage did last time he was governor, we can't send him back. The top funder of A Better Maine is the Democratic Governors Association.
When it comes to the feud,
if you design men's underwear, you'd make them what?
You either nail it,
tighter, comfortable,
or fail it.
If you design men's underwear, you'd make them what?
Velcro.
You ain't put no Velcro on us down there. No, you're not. And wax yourself.
Family Feud, nailing it 5 times a week.
Weekdays at 9 on ABC 7.
Hello, Eastern Maine. Watch You Bet Your Life weekdays at 10 a.m. here on ABC 7.
Welcome back in, everyone. Thank you for staying with us. Well, he's not in Maine anymore, at least right now, but he is still making headlines up here. On Monday, On3 Recruiting released their rankings for the class of 2025, and Maine saw a familiar name at the top. Cooper Flagg was ranked the nation's #1 player in the class, according to the recruiting mogul. It is On3's initial rankings for the class of 2025, and it sees Flagg ahead of Cameron Boozer, someone he's very familiar with through the AAU circuit and held the top spot beforehand. There are going to be plenty more rankings released from On3 between now and the time both of these players graduate, but right now, Flagg with the upper hand. He is one of 3 5-star players on the list as well, and he and Ace are getting ready to take the court for their first season at Montverde Academy as we speak. All right, moving on, but staying with basketball, a new era is about to tip off for Maine men's basketball with first-year head coach and former Black Bear Chris Markwood and the team opening up practice this week, gearing up for tip-off in about a month.
For us right now, where this program is, it's all about building habits and good habits, winning habits. And then if we can do that on a daily basis in practice and stack one good day after another, then is going to put us in the best position to have the results that we want to have.
Chris Markwood and Maine men's basketball converged on the pit Monday afternoon for their first official practice of the season.
It feels good to just have that, you know. It might be a little harder than some of the returners are used to. It might be a little bit longer, but it feels good to get at it, again.
Even just today, I was just super excited waking up, get out of bed and get here right first thing in the morning, get prepped for a really good day of practice.
In just over a month, the first-year head coach and the Black Bears suit up for a tough non-conference schedule, heading to Nebraska to tip off the season and also getting to play teams like Ohio State.
We got a really tough, challenging schedule, which we're excited about. We're going to go out and play tough teams, Nebraska, Ohio State, Akron, really good mid-major teams in the Northeast as well, in preparations of setting us up to play our best basketball once the conference comes. We're not really worried about results right now. We're just worried about building winning habits.
It's a really good learning point for us, because it's probably the hardest schedule that we're probably going to have. Even as returners, I know for myself, this is probably one of the hardest schedules that we've had. So, it's all just a learning curve.
For Markwood, their season started a long time ago, with a bunch of the team being on campus for the summer months, and those early practices were huge. Now, day one doesn't really feel like day one.
I thought those sessions in July, August, and into September have been really beneficial for this group in terms of laying the blueprint and the foundation for what we're going to need to move forward with.
And, perhaps like he was in his heyday, the Markwood-led Black Bears are going to come to play with a little bit of edge to their game.
We're trying to get a little bit of grit, a little bit of nastiness to us. We got to compete at a high level. So, we're looking for a team that's going to execute at a high level on both ends, going to play selfless together basketball, and fight every single night we take the floor.
It's certainly a high-energy practice. The players responding real well to Markwood, who's probably sweating just as much as his guys out there. Needless to say, going to be a fun team to watch this season for sure. Let's stay with Maine right now. America East released their weekly awards for field hockey on Tuesday, and after the weekend they had, there were a couple Black Bears on the list. Earning her second Defensive Player of the Week award this season is goalie Mia Borley. Borley went 2-0 on the weekend with 5 saves and 1 goal against UNH in their 5-1 win, and then followed that up with 14 saves and 1 goal against in an overtime win over Albany. Junior Poppy Lambert was the conference's Offensive Player of the Week. Lambert knocked in a goal and an assist in Friday's win, and then scored the goal to force overtime on Sunday against Albany, and the Black Bears look to win their 6th straight game of the year on the road against UMass Lowell this coming Friday. All right, let's move on now. Let's do some high school sports, some afternoon soccer up in Orono. Tuesday was a great day for it. Central coming to Orono, trying to take down those Red Riots. We're going to start in the second half. Orono is up 1. Dominic Ondo is going to get this pass off here. A great ball that finds Hashim Wise, who beats his man, keeps going, and then he beats the goalie. Orono takes a 3-1 lead off the foot of Wise. Central now. It's Jackson Pollock. He's going to get a good shot off here with the left, but Colin Loringer in the right place at the right time for the save. Here are the Devils again. Raylan Willis from way downtown, and he beats Loringer this time. So it's a 1-goal game. Time ticking down. We have about 10 minutes left, and it's Pollock again. He's looking for his crosser coming towards the net, but Loringer would get there first. He and the defense would hold Central the rest of the way, and the Riots go on to win 3-2. Some great back-and-forth soccer right there. That is all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Your favorite restaurants for half off. It's half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7. Here's this week's featured deal.
At Firehouse Subs, we give you craveable subs that are piping hot and piled high. And a portion of every purchase helps give them the life-saving equipment they need. Order online or on the app for contactless pickup or delivery. Only at Firehouse Subs.
On sale Thursday at 9 a.m. A limited supply available half off dining from Fox 22 and ABC 7.
The signs of summer are here. The sun's out for the evening commute. Whistles and clapping echo from the ball field. And a day at the lake brings the family together. Valley Home Services offers whole home comfort, serving northern Maine to Portland. Choose from Daikin, Fujitsu, or Mitsubishi heat pumps, and you'll be ready for whatever summer brings. Humid days or cool nights, come home to comfort with Valley Home Services. Home is our middle name.
General Rental Center has been serving Central Maine for more than 30 years with an extensive inventory, including mini track loaders with attachments, full-size track skid steer, track loader and backhoe, wheel loader with attachments, a 50-foot towable aerial lift, and a 45-foot self-propelled four-wheel drive lift. If you can't find it on our website, we can find it for you. Call for multi-day and weekend special rates.
With Wednesday's business news, here's Leo Jonathan.
The Conference Board's index of consumer confidence rose slightly for the second month in a row. The Commerce Department also says sales of new homes rose in August by nearly 29% compared to the month before. As the cost of mortgages go up, home prices dropped slightly in July. The S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller National Home Price Index fell 0.3%, the first monthly decline in home prices in more than 3.5 years. Demand for new iPhones is down. Bloomberg says Apple has backed off plans to step up production of iPhone 14 models, sticking with its original forecast of 90 million units for the second half of the year. And car rental giant Hertz has reached a deal with BP to build and manage charging stations across the country. Hertz currently has thousands of EVs and plans to buy 175,000 more from GM. I'm Leo Jonathan with Wednesday's Business on ABC 7.
Now here's meteorologist Devin Biggs with our full weather forecast.
Good morning, Devin.
Thank you very much, Joe and Emma. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Boosted Auto and Diesel. For all your automotive, heavy truck, and equipment needs, call Ronnie at 207-659-9458. Alrighty, starting things off this morning, dense fog is the name of the game. Many areas at less than a mile of visibility, so making that commute to work or school this morning, give it some extra time as the fog may be hard to see out, make it hard to see out there from time to time. Low beams or fog lights will be needed, though. Do not use your high beams. That'll make it hard to see for you and other drivers ahead of you. Otherwise, though, here we are. So things are looking pretty clear out there overall on the radar and satellite. Maybe a few passing clouds this morning, but the sun will have to burn off any fog that has developed, though. But a few rain showers cannot be ruled out courtesy of this cold front right about in here. They'll move from the west to the east as we head towards the latter parts of the daytime today. But obviously the big focus, though, along this cold front will be Hurricane Ian that's tracking into parts of Florida as we speak. And this thing's starting to pack a punch really good as a Category 3 hurricane. For now, it's expected to reach up to a Category 4. And, of course, some development. This is minute-by-minute satellite imagery. And, of course, whenever you see the pink showing up on this infrared satellite imagery, that's not a good sign. That means this thing is starting to get its act together. It actually just went through an eyewall replacement cycle recently. As it's tracking from the south, going toward the north right now, still maintaining Category 3 strength right now, but the last few frames have me a little concerned. This thing's gotten bigger and definitely more intense, so we'll have to watch this very closely. 120-mile-per-hour hurricane moving towards the north-northeast at about 10 miles per hour. Projected path has it moving into parts of Florida. Here's all the advisories right here. Tropical storm warnings in the orange and the red hurricane warnings. We'll move on land, possibly moving back over water again is now a possible scenario in a few spots before it moves back on land again. So this thing will be causing some issues across a good part of the U.S. and especially Florida for the next few days. Back here at home, no wave heights are even high near us. We're at around 3 to 7 feet, according to some of the buoys, courtesy of that cold front that's currently parked offshore overall. But our average high is now at 66 degrees. We'll be in the 60s for the next few days, even upper 60s for you Saturday. Back in the upper 50s as we head towards Sunday into Monday. Lower 60s making a return as we head towards your Tuesday. Moving forward, though, futurecast, a few showers cannot be ruled out today. Otherwise, a partly cloudy sky with a mixture of clouds and sunshine. We'll see some clearing overall later on tonight, but more clouds will be on the way as we head towards the daytime tomorrow. But a nice dry spell looks to set up shop after today. So for today, middle 60s, partly cloudy with a few showers out there. That west wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Later on tonight, upper 40s, mostly clear. That northwest wind getting up to about 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow, middle 60s, partly cloudy. Northwest wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour in a few areas. Alrighty, here's a look at your extended forecast brought to you by Boosted Auto and Diesel. Middle 60s Thursday and Friday with a mixture of clouds and sun. Mostly cloudy on Saturday, highs in the upper 60s and upper 50s. We cool down on Sunday with a partly cloudy sky.
You can always tell where Bruce Poliquin's been. Hanging around Washington politicians and the special interests that fund their campaigns, like big oil and drug and insurance companies. Poliquin leaves a bit of Washington everywhere because he's covered in it, supporting special tax breaks for big corporations and more government spending. No matter where you see Bruce Poliquin, you know he's always heading back to the swamp.
House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Hi folks, this is Barry Gass of Gass Horse Supply and Western Wear in Orono. We've been in business since 1911, and our third-generation family-owned business can't wait to show you our unique line of Western wear and Western tack. We have Western boots, shirts, hats, belts, and buckles for the entire family, and Western tack from bridles to saddles and everything in between for your horse.
Gass Horse Supply and Western Wear, where the American West comes alive in Maine.
In Maine, it's always buying season. And at Thornton Brothers in Lincoln, we carry new Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Rams for your buying season. Here at Thornton Brothers, we'll help you find the right vehicle specifically for you to suit your lifestyle. As they say, the proof is in the performance. So come on over and test drive a real vehicle from a real dealership, or place your order with us and see why it really is buying season here in Maine. Thornton Brothers, Main Street, Lincoln.
Ladies, a Maine adventure.
We live here, so we know what you need this winter. Lots of boots. We got bogs, Merrills, lacrosse, night scout pads. Get to Rennie's.
Thank you for shopping locally.
Hi, Sharks. I'm Janine Teagues from West Philadelphia.
You already know who you are. Get to it.
T-shirt, T-shirt, T-shirt.
So you want us to look just as dorky as you? Stay tuned and find out who we be making a deal with.
Whenever we do a recipe for a homemade candy bar or fudge, we see a huge increase in visitors to our website. And to tell you the truth, I can understand why. Who doesn't love homemade confections? So let me show you an easy one that we just came up with. We start by melting some chocolate in a microwave. That can be baking bars or melting discs. While that sits for a sec, we place a jar of marshmallow cream in a bowl and microwave it until it's melted. Then we add a splash of vanilla and our melted chocolate. After it's mixed well, we spoon it into a loaf pan that we line with foil and pop it in the freezer for a bit. Once it sets up, we cut it into bars and top each with a couple of almonds and finish them by dunking them in even more melted chocolate. And if you're thinking, am I dreaming? This sounds too good to be true. Well, you're not. So if you love chocolate, I mean really love chocolate, I suggest that you go online and get the easy step-by-step recipe for our mini almond dream bars. Yes, they're totally worth the calories. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a sinfully rich and chocolatey way for you to say, ooh, it's so good. Oh, very good. Very chocolate.
The Maine Center for Coastal Fisheries introduced its new executive director. Alexa Dayton was welcomed as the newly appointed executive director on Tuesday.
Dayton, who brings 15 years of direct experience in fisheries science and policy, will lead the organization's operation and its 10-person staff. MCCF is a nonprofit dedicated to sustaining fisheries and coastal communities in Maine. And congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations to her. Well, Good Morning America is next on ABC 7.
Stay with us for the second hour of Good Morning Maine. That's coming up next on Fox 22. We hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon.
Feel the difference of alpaca apparel from the Blue Alpaca Ranch and Store in Belfast. Stop by their ranch location to interact with these amazing animals and enjoy the beautiful Maine outdoors with your very own alpaca walk. Shop in-store or online today and take advantage of their free nationwide shipping. With their incredible selection of socks, sweaters, hats, and more, experience the unique qualities that alpaca fiber brings with the Blue Alpaca. Feel the difference. Did you know that it's possible to buy the wrong type of flooring for your home? Whether you're a do-it-yourselfer or professional contractor, the experts at Don DeKalb Mainwood Floors are here to help, offering solid pro advice from choosing the right material and color to installation. Don DeKalb features the highest quality hardwood flooring sourced from lumber right here in Maine, from Maine traditions. Not only will you get a floor you'll love, you'll get a floor that will last. Don DeKalb Mainwood Floors. Buy from the best, forget the rest.
Renovating or building new, you'll find a wide selection of high-performance